Race number 3, then, is the feature race on the programme. It's the Group 3 Centenary Vase over the 1,800 metres. 7 go to post, headed by Secret Weapon, winner in 2016, 7th in this year's International Cup. Eagle Way, Group 3 January Cup winner. Gold Mount, 5th in the Vase. Very impressive first up in October. Horse of Fortune backing up from the Stewards Cup. Denozo won midweek at Happy Valley. And the 2 3-year-olds, Rivet and Riven, both Derby entries. We've made our way to the touchscreen to have a look at the speed map for this one, Brett, because quite an interesting one. The Horse of Fortune may well end up with these leading duties with a lack of an obvious pace there, I suppose. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting, isn't it? He is a horse that has rolled forward in the past, Horse of Fortune. Of course, Riven last start rolled forward, didn't he, and set up a fairly decent break. I think they'll be a little bit more conservative, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rivet and Riven are alongside each other in the early stages, and Horse of Fortune potentially is able to get a nice sort of run on the lead. Denozo on Wednesday night was very handy, wasn't he? He's actually in here behind the leader. So that's a little question mark on where he'll end up, and obviously Gold Mountain Eagle Way will be sitting back, letting the race unfold in front of them.
Yeah, it's a Group 3 race with some class animals here, Paul.
Yeah, really good race. It's going to be muddling, isn't it, I think? But we'll see what happens. Track-wise work, though, we can have a look at Rivet here, working with Grand Chancellor, who's racing later on in the card. Rivet's the one on the far side. He's most improved horse, I think, Rivet, since he's got here. And his work's been really good leading into this particular contest. I'm just concentrating on the 2 4-year-olds here. The other one we'll look at is Riven, because they're down the straight there, and I thought this was a really good piece, because Pavlovsky generally works well. And you can see Riven really taking off from Pavlovsky.
He's pretty sharp generally, isn't he, Pavlovsky?
Yeah, so that's 2 good bits of work from the 4-year-olds.
All right, OK, we'll come back and have a look. That's probably a good place to start, in actual fact, isn't it? The Classic Mile is where they were racing last time, and we had this situation with Riven out in front at this stage, rolling along. Of course, nothing I like more, the eventual winner. But Rivet, it was certainly an improved effort from him too.
Yeah, Paul suggested going into the Classic Mile that he would be a horse that would get better. And I don't mind the way he found the line, and I think obviously the up-in journey is going to be the key factor to him finishing closer again.
Yeah, I like him in this race. And one of the main reasons is the weights. But both these 2 horses come in with 113 pounds. And, you know, a horse like Secret Weapon has to give them 20 pounds. And they're young up-and-coming horses. We saw the 4-year-olds last crop so good last season, and this will be a good test to see how good these 4-year-olds are.
Yeah, and Riven, of course, probably lacking a little bit in the fitness stakes, isn't he? But he would have gained a little bit out of that, no doubt, chugging along in the lead like that. But, yeah, I think they'll be a little bit more conservative, but I'm a bit like Paul. I think Rivet of those 2 is probably the one.
Getting up from the mile to the 1,800 metres as well. Gold Mount, we can have a look at him last start. Of course, he was very impressive first up. This is the Vase, though. Highland Reel winning. But just look at the way he finishes off. This is a super effort.
This is him, though, isn't it, Gold Mount? He always gives away a start and then he rattles off a really quick final sectional. Worth noting that he's won twice and it's been first up on both occasions. So he hasn't had a run for the best part of, 7 weeks? He's had 2 little sort of soft, quietish trials. He is all class. He's not an overly big horse and he's got to carry the weight. But he has done that before with success.
He has, and he did hit the line strongly. Obviously, this was a lot further, this particular race, but he did hit the line well. The thing that just put me off him a little bit is just this muddling pace it could be in. I don't know if it's going to suit him. But good horses can overcome it.
Yeah, he's got to turn a foot, and Eagle Way, I mean, he beat Eagle Way a fair bit in that race, but Eagle Way's since has come out and been very impressive.
Yeah, and go back and have a look at that win first up as well, over the 1,800 metres. It was a mighty performance. Next one we can have a look at is Eagle Way. Focus on him here. This is the January Cup, of course. Good ride. Zach Purton on board on this occasion, and Denozo finishing 3rd here. He's come out and won again since.
Yeah, good runs from both these 2 horses, I thought, in this particular race. Eagle Way, you know, he's back to a bit of form now. He is a Group 1 winner, of course, and this was a group race at Happy Valley. So if he can reproduce this, I think he can be in the finish. Again, he has to carry the weight, though.
I don't think John Moore's had the horse going better. We know he had a bit of a setback probably a month or so ago, but the sectional that he reeled off there at the Valley was quite exceptional. Coming to Shah 10, you know, he was sort of probably a little bit behind the 8 ball going into the Vase. I think he's cherry ripe and he'll be very, very competitive, if not winning the race for me.
All right, that's Eagle Way. We saw Denozo finishing 3rd. Off the back of that, he came out and won at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. Ed Sadler was out at Trackwood to catch up with John Size and asked him how he was after that win.
He seems okay. He didn't have too tough a run, you wouldn't think, just watching it visually, but obviously he won the race, so he's done plenty of work. He seems to be okay at home, and maybe the cool weather helped him out a little bit.
Was it always a plan to run him in both races this week?
Yeah, he's sort of going to struggle a bit after Sunday to find a suitable race. So I thought, well, if he runs in both of them and wins one of them, that'll be a good result.
He's been a great horse for the stable. He's won 4 races, over $7 million in prize money.
Yeah, he's done well. He had a problem early on. He fractured his pelvis, and he's had 4 months off with that. And it was questionable how he'd come back, but he seems fine, as you can see, and he's been a very honest horse and quite diligent about his work, and much stronger now that he's a 5-year-old.
And also a bit of news from the stable, John. Contentment's been retired.
Oh yeah, Contentment's retired. He seems to have lost his enthusiasm for racing. He's healthy and well. He's in good shape, and I'm sure he'll have quite a peaceful retirement. He's a very good-natured horse, and he'll be a pleasure for someone to look after.
Yeah, he's a big name, Contentment. Of course, he was a Group 1 just last season, won the Champions Mile, didn't he?
Yeah, he won a number of Group 1s. He was a very good horse. I can remember the day he first won his first race, actually. He came from well back in the field at 100 miles an hour, not dissimilar to Nothing I Like More, actually, and won with some authority, and it was just onwards and upwards from there. So he was a great money spinner, won millions and millions of dollars in prize money, and as John said, let's hope he can bask in the sunshine and eat plenty of grass.
Absolutely. Quick word on Denozo, though, Paul?
Yeah, look, I like the fact he's backing him up, because he's a horse in form at the moment, and it has worked before. Something we haven't seen too often from John Size. But look, he says the horse as well, and so why not start him, you know? Yeah. And it's only a small field, and to be fair, he didn't do that much work when he won at Happy Valley. You know, as John said, on paper, he sort of got the nice trail, and Jack Wong was very kind to him, I thought.
All right, OK. Well, we've got one more try to have a look at here. Secret Weapon. That's him with Nash. Goldland's the eventual winner of this trial. The other horse to take note of is Eagle Way, here just on the inside. It's a very good trial because you've got Beauty Generation and Werther right down the middle, so it was a high-class affair.
The first thing to point out is that Eagle Way trialled here and then went to the Valley and won that Group 3 race. Secret Weapon, of course, hasn't run since he ran 7th behind Time Warp in the Hong Kong Cup back in December, so he certainly goes in a little bit on the fresher side, but he did close the trial off quite nicely. I remember Nash Rawiller suggesting too, leading into International Day, that he was expecting the horse to run well, but I'm just not quite sure he's still there yet, so I think there might be another race or two, particularly, you know, sort of in March, April-ish, where Secret Weapon will be better suited, so I'm sitting on the fence.
Yeah, I don't like him at the weights either. He's got to carry 133 pounds and give all his other horse weights. And in that trial, I just thought he was pushed out a little bit at the very end.
He might be better suited in the Gold Cup or something like that at level weights.
He's the current outside of the field, but he does have a bit of class about him as well, and say a winner from 2 years ago. So, all got some sort of chance here, Paul, but what do you end up with?
Yeah, it's hard to pin many of them, isn't it? It's a really good, nice little field here, 7 runners. I want to go with the weights, the 2 horses down the bottom, the 2 4-year-olds. I think Rivet's a horse that's most improved. I do like him. And Rivet, I know, probably needs 4 miles, but stepping up to 1,800 metres would probably, I think, will help him. And if it's a muddling pace, he might get away with it. Eagle Way will be running on. He's a Group 1 winner. And Denozo is a horse in form at the moment. So I threw him in. I left Goldmount out. He's obviously got a massive chance, but I just, he's going to come up favourite, and I just worried about the muddling pace. So I went 6, 7, 2, 5, but I like the 6.
Fair enough. I think it's a small field. Could be a tactical battle as well. I just love the way Eagle Way let down at the Valley. As I said, I think John Moore has got him cherry ripe at the moment after a little bit of a setback earlier in his prep. So I'm happy to go with him. Goldmount is a very, very serious horse when he fires first up, and he might provide the most resistance. Denozo, and I'm with Paul. I think if Rivet runs well again in this, he'll put himself really into contention for the Derby. So, and obviously maybe the Classic Cup too. So 2, 3, 5, 6, very exciting race.
Certainly is. And we've got a number of horses on the Derby Trail still in different races on Sunday, because they can't all follow that classic campaign, can they?
No, they can't. They often come from here, there and everywhere, and eventually they'll all blend together in the Classic Cup and then the Derby, and there'll be a few different form lines to sift through and work out which one's the strongest.
Yeah, we saw the Golden Age, didn't he? He's going through a Happy Valley route, so there is plenty of variance there.
Yeah. All right. And for a different view on that as well, head to the website Multimedia Showcase HK Direct this week with a very, very special guest. It's one of the 3 of us. There's a clue. All right, Goldmount will win that race, incidentally, though. We'll take a short break here, come back with race 4, which is the first leg of the TT.